Hello and welcome to the Silver Screen Show, where we talk everything about movies, film and cinema. Today we have 4 people including myself, talking about the films. So we have our usual host Abu and Elenia and myself Mo, and as well we've got Johnny today,
Hello.
a guest joining us to talk about 2 great films. Firstly, Mission Impossible Fallout, one of the biggest films in the 2018 summer, as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp, another very big film in the Marvel franchise.
So our blockbusters have come through, haven't
blockbuster after blockbuster, yeah.
Full swing.
This is probably the last
This is
big
what,
hits, isn't it, I suppose?
the third Marvel film this year so far, and we've still got one more going.
I think Marvel's done for the year.
Is it?
Yeah,
think
it's
so.
Captain Marvel coming out in February.
In springtime.
Right.
Venom's sold.
Venom is next.
Venom's
Yeah.
not Marvel, really.
It's not Marvel Studios.
Anyone watching the trailer will know it's not Marvel.
We know what Sony did to Spider-Man
true.
3,
Yeah.
so they're forgiven them.
Anyway, without any further ado, we shall start the reviews. So first up we have Mission Impossible Fallout, the 6th film in the franchise. Obviously reprising the role is Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, as well as a recurring character Rebecca Ferguson, who's playing an MI6 spy agent. And this time we also have 2 other characters join in. We have Henry Cavill's character as a British, an American CIA, American CIA agent, as well as Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett, who is the CIA's head.
I think the moustache
yes.
made you think he's British, innit?
Exactly. We should also mention supporting character as the mustache.
Gets credited.
It's
So the
film
film-
famous in its own right.
Killer of
it
the
definitely
Justice
is,
League,
yeah.
man.
It's apparently the most valuable mustache ever.
It killed DC,
Most
man.
expensive.
It killed DC, so...
DC killed DC.
Imagine Justice League. People talk about Justice League going against Avengers.
Yeah.
They can't even win against a mustache. So
Going off topic again.
anyway, back to Mission Impossible, and a fantastic film, directed this time by Christopher McQuarrie, which is an odd one out in the film franchise, because typically the films are directed by a new director every time. This time Tom Cruise requested McQuarrie to come back because he did such a fantastic role, and McQuarrie was very conscious apparently throughout the entire filming. He wanted to pose as a different director, so he was trying to undo his own thoughts while doing the film. But anyway, let's
Making up for the
open
Mummy.
He did Mummy. Yeah, but you know he's a good director. He's done
a great,
very good films.
I'm a big fan of his.
Same.
Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspect.
He wrote that.
He was a writer. Exactly. He was a writer in some of the biggest films.
We don't talk about the Mummy here.
All right, fine. Like I was saying, you're allowed one mistake in your career.
It's a big mistake.
That was a big mistake. But yeah, he's redeemed himself. Let's open the podium and see what you guys think about the film.
Shall we let Johnny go first?
Johnny, yes.
Guess first.
Guess first.
I loved it. I loved the film.
You loved it.
I loved the film. And yeah, on the whole, I loved it. I like all the Mission Impossible films. In fact, I was thinking about this the other day, and if I think about it, I know they're at different times, but I kind of feel I like them more than Bond at the minute.
Definitely.
It's definitely Bond.
Yeah, I don't know.
This now easily trumps Bond. Almost any Bond
But it's a
film.
good way to look at the whole franchise when a new one comes out.
I know we had a word with Eleni before
she's
this,
angry.
it's Mission Impossible, James.
I'm kind of looking forward to when Daniel Craig finishes, to be honest.
Oh, no, I am as well. I would completely agree there.
But yeah, I love the film. I thought, the stunts were great. I love the fact he does them his own stunts. He puts, as far as I can tell, everything into every film he does that I've seen him do.
Man,
I haven't seen The Mummy, but
We don't talk about that.
but yeah, every film I've seen him do, he gives it his all. And yeah, I thought this was great.
Abu?
Following on, I think good things that finally the franchise again the respect it deserves. I think like Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation were good films, but I don't think they were really mainstream.
I agree. Yeah.
Like noticed in the mainstream.
That's something I never understood.
Yeah.
These films are better than any other action films I've
They
seen
both
in the
made like
last
700
decade.
million, but I don't think they ever got the full recognition. But I think this film really puts Mission Impossible where it should be. I think it's like right now probably the best action.
It's made the
franchise
most
right
money
now.
out of all of them.
It's hard to tell. It came out like a couple of weeks, but I think it's on like
On
the track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on court. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, the stunts, were great. I mean, the skydiving scene was intense.
Love that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I watched it in 4DX. Actually, it's the first time I watched it in 4DX.
Yeah.
And this film is amazing in 4DX.
Awesome.
It's definitely worth it.
You know,
It's-
they did over 100 takes
Yeah,
for
first
that
jump.
skydiving jump.
Huh?
Halo
Ju- 100 jumps?
Over 100 jumps. Tom Cruise himself.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was watching another interview.
Perfectionist.
Yeah, and there's a reason for it. So the way the camera was, so another guy was jumping with him, obviously,
Yeah.
and the camera rig was 20 kilograms in weight. And the focus was set such that you only had 3 inches of uncertainty.
Like, yeah.
So he had to, when Tom Cruise jumped, he had to jump and stop midair, just
Get the right
with a,
distance.
with a error threshold of 3 inches.
This guy's insane, man.
That's why it took over 100 takes.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous. And they were doing the stunts. You know, he pulled his oxygen
Yeah.
tank out,
Yeah.
put it on Henry Cavill. They
That was for
actually did
real,
it.
yeah.
Ah, they
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
did
it's
it.
impressive.
I've been to Henry Cavill do.
No, it wasn't Henry Cavill.
No.
In his defense, he wanted to.
Yeah, I
but
suppose.
it came to a point that if he messed anything up, someone could die.
Yeah.
So they did it with professional
He didn't
stuntmen.
actually. I think he mentioned in the interview. He said, "I'm happy to do any stunt
Yeah.
apart from
As
the
long
ones
as
that I might kill someone if
Yeah,
I mess
yeah.
it up."
Yeah,
so,
I saw the same thing. He was
Yeah.
talking about how he really wanted to do all of his own stunts,
Yeah.
but he didn't have a bike license. And if he was going to hurt somebody else,
Exactly.
he's
Yeah.
just not going to do it.
Yeah.
Also, speaking
But obviously,
of
Tom Cruise.
one set piece, the bathroom fight was insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love
I don't know who
that.
the Asian guy's name was.
Yeah.
But he was
Lang,
immense.
something
I
Lang.
mean,
Just
it's the actor.
Yeah, I love that scene.
That scene, I mean, went for like 10 minutes.
That was
It's
hard.
brutal.
It was
absolutely
brutal.
savage. I was
Was
like, that's
And it was punctuated by loads of interesting things happening as
Exactly.
well. It wasn't just, like Fast and Furious, just brawl after brawl.
at the moment in the club when they head towards the bathroom, oh my days, it's happening. It's, like, it's happening.
This is the moment we've
This
been
is the
waiting for.
Oh,
moment.
it was so much better than what the trailer made it out to be. It was genuinely better.
Yeah.
In the trailer, you just think like people just breaking walls.
The only thing
But
the
this
trailers-
one, they had, immediately when Tom Cruise wants to put the injection, and Henry Cavill has his own way of starting the fight,
Like
and then it
Scaffold
stopped.
versus
I'm like,
Hammer,
wait,
isn't it?
the fight stopped, and then it starts back again. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, I love that.
Elenia, what about your opinion? Everyone- all of us are like,
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm going to soften the blow first. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I didn't know if I was, because I did like Ghost Protocol and I did like Rogue Nation, but not in the same realm as you guys. But I was really entertained. But it's ridiculous. Like,
But it's a bit too much.
it's a little bit too much. Like there was bits in it that I just thought we were laughing our heads off all the way through, and especially kind of when it got to the third act and it got into the helicopter thing as well. And I was watching it with my mate, and she's in the RAF, so she's sitting
No
there
way.
going, "What the hell is going on?" I know he can fly a helicopter, and that's fine, but some of the things were. It was like when I was watching Skyscraper and how ridiculous that was.
Can't compare
I-
Skyscraper with
Skyscraper was real, man. He climbed that building with duct tape.
The entire building is CGI.
No, that was real.
Okay, that's the difference though, because all of the action sequences, they're in the same realm of possibility, which is sort of out there a little bit. But the difference is in Mission Impossible, it's more realistic because he does it all himself. Where in Skyscraper, it's in front of a green screen with a plate glass window. But I really did like it. Erica, Angela Bassett, is an idiot though.
Yeah, I didn't like her character.
Right,
She
what?
is so stupid.
I thought her character was quite silly.
I don't
as
like
well.
her.
I mean,
I
she's
don't
she's
like
a hot right now in the industry, like in the world right now. But I think she's kind of shoehorned into this to kind of like be like a long-term replacement. I'm like,
I thought her character was okay. I just thought she made a silly decision.
well, the
at
three
some
the three
point.
times she's on screen, I'm like, you know what?
What decision?
So you
Well, let's
know-
not, we
you
don't
know-
want to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
we don't want to
obviously.
spoil it.
the underground bit, and she's like, "Oh, I don't trust anyone, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a bunch of faceless
Yeah,
black
yeah,
ops,
you're right.
and I can trust them.
Yeah,
don't
you're right.
I? And
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, that point was a bit silly. But
Yeah.
I thought her character was good. I think she acts well for what
No,
is
I'm
necessitated.
I'm not saying she's a bad actress. I thought that the character was dumb.
That decision, yeah, I agree. That was a bit.
And
I remember that now.
White Widow. I love the actress Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah.
She's Princess Margaret in The Crown
Yeah.
on Netflix.
She's
I
got that.
absolutely
She's
love
got that like crown look to her, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
royal,
she's
doesn't she?
very like royal British kind of air to her,
Yeah.
and I absolutely loved her. But her brother to me looked kind of like a budget Tom Hardy,
discount Tom Hardy. That's
Discount.
the same thing I was thinking
or a
as well.
slightly tougher Donald Gleeson.
So I do admit the White Widow did. I think her character, she was important, but I think she had a bit too much screen time in the film. I think they could have cut her role by like half at least. I know she's there to be the middleman, but I think kind of did drag on her.
The
Yeah,
broker,
I
yeah.
can understand that, but I think they kind of dragged on a bit too long, and I thought maybe trim whatever.
Yeah, to an extent, I agree.
It did
I
slow
think,
down
I think
a
it
lot.
was like, you know, she was just there to let Ilsa get off at the end. They
Yeah.
could give it back
Yeah.
to
It's like
him.
a plot device, wasn't it,
Yeah.
basically? But I think she's been written in to be in the franchise for a
in
while.
the franchise
yeah.
all the time. I thought her, if you look at it with that point in mind, in hindsight, her character and the story arc in the film will seem important, I'm sure, in future films. But I thought her character was important in the film also for the reason that they needed to bring Stephen Lane in somehow. Solomon Lane, sorry. Him in somehow. And
Yeah.
her character was the right arc.
Yeah, I
to it.
guess.
So for that reason, I thought it
Yeah.
was important, even though I do agree it could have been tightened.
Do you think she'll be in the next ones?
Yeah.
then?
I definitely think
Yeah.
she has a place. She's
the
not
end.
evil, you know that.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just a businessman,
Yeah.
businesswoman.
Playing both sides, basically.
I will admit, Solomon Lane, I love him.
He's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
creepy.
Yeah.
He's
so
so
creepy.
creepy. He's so evil, but like
And he
in the
can
kind of-
fight.
and he can fight. But in the way
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like
he can fight,
Thanos
actually,
has like his justification and everything, he has his own weird
Yeah.
justification, and
Yeah.
you're just kind of like,
It was very interesting what he did in the end. Actually, I
Yeah,
was-
Can't
give that away, no
Yeah, I
spoilers.
can't give away. But that was very interesting why he did it, and you could see his motivation like on his sleeve, like it was so
yeah.
clear.
Sean Harris has got a great voice.
Yeah,
Obvious.
yeah. The
So-
voice. The
Evil,
voice is what does
creepy
it.
Voice.
Yeah.
I sort of follow on two things I mentioned. Like, I do agree with Eleni, the action does get a bit too insane at times. I think it does become a bit fast in the furious.
I'm interested to
like,
know what bits you feel.
you-
though.
I
You cannot say that.
listed them, right?
No,
there's no way
I'll
you
let
can
you
say
finish.
that.
Bear this out, because like what I did like about the first like Ghost Broken Rogue Nation, it is kind of grounded in a sense. Whereas this one's like there's just two helicopters chasing each other, like just flying at each other for like good 20 minutes. I'm like, is this the Fast and the Furious? I can imagine that kind of being in there. The only difference is that they're actually doing that in real life and not behind CGI. So I do think I would like a bit more espionage in it, which is what the previous two had a bit of it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I do think also, I do like having that one set piece, which every mission possible has, like they break into someone, have a mission.
A heist.
The heist
Heist,
scene.
yeah.
Like,
You're all about the heist.
There was a heist scene, and I was kind of like, come on, man. There's always one thing where they will have a role, they'll be just like,
Yeah, yeah.
undercover.
And
That
they planned
first
for
movie
it,
was
and
Yeah.
they-
Look at the Burj Khalifa,
Yeah,
had
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
water thing.
There's
in
someone in
Rogue
the
Nation.
van, someone
Exactly.
under the
Yeah.
pavement,
That's like
someone in the
that's
building.
like a classic Mission
Yeah,
Impossible.
that classic element is missing. I will agree.
Yeah.
That's the
However,
only thing I kind of had against it. in a
However,
sense.
I'll say a few things actually. This film, the story in the film, is very different to the other Mission Impossible films, and that's because this time it's a very personal mission for Tom Cruise, a mission not given to him by IMF, but him having to do it because he fucked up in the beginning
We'll
of the
beep it
film.
out.
In the beginning of the film, and I thought that was a very important thing, and that simple point kept me hooked throughout the film because I realized that his motivation was very clear.
Because he's
So,
responsible.
Yeah, in any
Yeah.
other film, you have to figure out what a character's motivations are. Here, it was clear, like, this is why I'm doing it, and the audience was already in with Ethan Hunt throughout the film. And that's why even subtle elements of vulnerability in Ethan Hunt's portrayal comes out as very real and genuine. You know, when in the helicopter scene, I was telling you guys,
he's
he's
absolutely
trying to do something, and you can sense the desperation and why he has the desperation. So those kind of things really positions this film above other films for me. Like any action film can be a
Isn't
good
it the
film.
first time the baddie returns? The same baddie.
It's the first time it's a sequel, actually. It's the
Like,
first
the first time a baddie returns from the previous
Body
one.
return.
Baddie,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, baddie. Sorry.
Sorry.
baddie. Sorry.
antagonist.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the first
The
time.
enemy
yeah.
Okay. This is the first action film that is actually a direct sequel to
Yeah.
the previous one.
Yeah.
All the other ones are like more like standalone.
But
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that 3 was personal as well?
3 was personal as
But
well.
no, that's
Not,
like,
yeah.
3 kind of gets lost in the transition between the early
I
ones
thought
and
so. I thought 3 was a very important film because 2 completely dumped the franchise, and 3 was necessary.
2 was very 2000. It was all Limp
I
Bizkit.
love to. I loved it.
2 is a good film, but it's not
I
a mission
haven't
film.
seen it.
2 is not a mission film. You've done yourself a favor, to be honest.
I
Believe
love
me.
the- yeah.
I was watching all the stunts from 2 the other day, just to see how the stunts compare, and it was such boring stunts. The stunts
It is an
reminded
old
me,
movie.
Stunts reminded me of Fast and Furious stunts because they are very grandiose and they're like loads of action and explosion, but there is no sophistication in the stunts. Where here,
Nearly 20
There-
years ago, though.
correct, but Mission Impossible 1 had amazing stunts.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that had amazing stunts. All of them had reasons. So
You're
an
right.
action film is a good action film when the story necessitates that action.
Yeah.
Like Tom Cruise will never do. I remember watching an interview saying, someone was asking me, will I ever do a space jump like jump from space. I said, does Ethan Hunt need that to happen? If there is no necessity, why will I do it? So every action scene in this film was story driven, and there was a reason why the set piece was there, and that's why you're so engrossed in the film, and that's why it's a better film than any other
I think
action
this is
film
the
I
most
see.
I've ever heard Mo speak about.
I
a
know,
film. He really
actually.
wants-
No,
Yeah.
it's because I have to give recognition
Yeah.
to a good film when it's done by good
Yeah.
people. McQuarrie is
Yeah.
is a masterclass in
Yes.
action films. I remember loving Jack Reacher, even though it didn't make.
I liked
the
Jack
first one,
Reacher,
second
actually.
one,
Because the second one wasn't directed by McQuarrie. The first one was directed by
Yeah.
McQuarrie. It was a masterclass in how to do poignant action film that was slow brooding. It wasn't like Fast and Furious. That's why general people, like the average
That's a different kind of action.
I
stupid
just want to bring
audience.
it back to the ridiculous.
Yeah, I wanna know what- I wanna know what you-
I made a list.
There's one point before we wrap it up.
Yeah, the you know when Ilsa shoots at the car and it like sort of clips him, that
Yeah.
would have gone into Luther's chest. The bullet just kind of
What is
disappears.
this?
Wait.
You know, in the car chase
In Paris.
in Paris,
Okay.
and it
I
gets
think it was a
sort of
flesh
shot.
wound.
Yeah,
It
it's a
was
flesh wound, but it goes through like it clips Solomon Lane,
Yeah.
and it would have gone into Luther's.
thought
Was
chest.
he wasn't in the car then,
He
was
was
he?
in the back seat.
Was
He
he?
sat behind him. Yeah, all three of there was like all of
well
them in the
spotted.
back.
Oh yeah, then they got
Well
out.
spotted,
Right.
yeah.
That would be in cinema since.
Number one, time, third act, doesn't exist. Apparently, he can like scale up the rope, fall back down, scale back up the rope, and then take over the helicopter, beat
Yeah.
up two guys in 2 minutes.
Don't worry, man.
Stephen
He
Hunt.
said- He said he'll do it. What more do you
I'll
want?
figure it out. I'll figure it out. At least 10 times.
Yeah.
Injury's not a thing. He like gets
Yeah.
just comes off the bike, flies about 20 feet, rolls across the ground, and just gets up and runs, and like,
Carries
cuts
on.
through a thing. Injuries also not a thing.
Not
And-
all of us is Tom Cruise though.
Yeah,
Let her vent.
and also, so the helicopter chase was one thing, but the crash was a completely off the scale other thing. Like
It was a bit-
again, there was like except for Henry Cavill's face.
You got two-faced.
The whole crash, and that already that village is at altitude. They're going above that again in the helicopters, and he's like climbing up a rope in horrifically thin air, and he's fine.
It's Ethan Hunt.
That's what I was saying.
You know, this guy holds his breath for 6.5 minutes. So I think he can climb up.
Me and my friend saw it the other day, and he started saying to me, "I'll Ethan Hunt it." It's now a phrase. It's now a
an
phrase.
adjective to put in.
Yeah.
Right then, so shall we wrap this up?
Right.
Man?
Yeah.
I think it's gone on for a while. This.
I think
Yeah.
it has. Because, but
Yeah.
we do mean it when we say it. This is a film to watch. This is a film that needs to be seen for anyone who wants to understand how to do a good action film and how to recognize a good action film.
Although the baddie was predictable. I'm sorry.
Oh, who the baddie was?
It's kind of
It's-
in the trailer, to be honest. If you pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah, I don't think they tried to hide it because even in the trailer you can see
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
shooting who, right?
I think a lot of the things some people in the audience were a bit shocked or like surprised when something happened. I was like, I saw that like half an hour ago.
When he didn't say thank you for saving him on the skydive, I knew he was the bad guy.
So cocky, wasn't
So
it?
bad.
Yeah.
So Archer.
But that death, like the cinema was packed. Everyone went,
You felt
Very
that
good.
visceral.
Very
But I think
good.
everyone, all of us. I mean, for me, great movie. Definitely
Yeah.
must watch. I mean,
Yeah.
quick.
yeah.
For me, it was the best film so far for
We
2018.
can tell.
Yeah, and for good reason. I'm not being paid by someone to say this. Obviously, I see a good
He's
film.
over the sponsorship.
I watch a
though,
good
so
film.
clearly.